Golfer Rory McIlroy adding his name to a growing number of athletes opting out of the Rio Olympics over Zika concerns. McIlroy saying in a statement, "I've come to realize that my health and my family's health come before anything else. Even though the risk of infection from the Zika virus is considered low, it is a risk nonetheless, and a risk I am unwilling to take." The family physician, Dr. Jennifer Caudle, on this. More and more of these professional athletes, male and female, just opting out of the Olympics. Now, do you think part of it is not just the high risk of infection, but concerns that perhaps Brazil is not doing enough, they're not being serious enough about just how risky this whole venture is?
Well, I think the biggest thing is the risk of infection. I think that is the primary risk here, right? I mean, we know that for most people who get infected with the Zika virus, most people won't have many symptoms, and if they do, it might be fever or rash or joint pains, things like that. But the bigger issue is those infection for pregnant women. We know that Zika now causes microcephaly. It can cause birth defects in children. So I think that the risk of infection is enough of a risk. That is enough in itself.
So exactly, I want to go one more time over how it works, because initially we thought it was only transmitted through the mosquito bite, but then we learned a man infected with this could actually transmit it to a woman via sexual intercourse, right?
That's exactly right, and that's what the caveat is. It's very true that most commonly people are infected through the bite of an infected Aedes species mosquito. That's the type of mosquito that transmits this virus. But we also know that Zika can be transmitted sexually as well, from a man to his sex partners. And this is a game changer, in my opinion. Knowing this is a game changer because we know that Zika will stay in the semen most likely longer than blood, but we don't know for how long. And this actually could be a very big deal for certain families, for certain couples, for certain people and their life and family planning.
Well, no one's saying this is much ado about nothing. There are folks out there who are saying, hey, athletes should go to Rio, should participate, and be cautious. In other words, the virus doesn't stay in the human body for a long period of time. So maybe give yourself some sort of period where you abstain from certain activities, be watchful. But if you just go there and come back and wait a certain period of time, all should be well. Is it worth that risk? Do we know enough to say that that's actually true?
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that, and I'm not really sure who actually is saying that. Now, my point is not to be alarmist here. I'm not saying that we should all be in a panic, but we need to look at the facts, and we need to look at what we do know. The World Health Organization, the CDC, actually has some pretty detailed information on their websites about what people should and shouldn't do. But the biggest problem with Zika right now is that there's actually a lot of questions that we just don't have answers to. And the thing about going to Brazil or to any other country that has active transmission of Zika, remember, the risks versus the benefits are very different for every person. For a woman who's desiring pregnancy very soon, she may choose something different than, say, a man who has no interest in getting a woman pregnant, for example. So a lot of this has to do with the risks, the benefits of that individual person, what they desire in life. But, you know, I don't know that it's as simple as saying, you know, just, you know, use, well, first of all, and I should say, taking precautions against being infected by mosquitoes is very, very important. But I don't think that saying, oh, just come on back and wait a few weeks and you'll be good to go is exactly the right message that we need to be sending. Well,
apparently more and more athletes are in agreement with you, and they're opting out of that. And I think the list is going to continue to grow. That was great, informative, Doc. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.